Happy days.
Hmm.
Hello, and welcome to TT Conversations. This week, my guest, I'm being very rude and currently getting a sweet while I'm doing the intro. It's probably not the most professional thing I've ever done.
That's all
Um,
right. I'm slurping the coffee at the same time.
I
So,
have a monster, so this is
Ah,
Matt Chambers.
hello all. It's me.
He's back. Oh, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Like I say, I've just had a smashing weekend at Hooverville 13 in Derby at the Quad, run by Steve Hatcher and the Hoovers. Brilliant event. Totally. It was rock.
I said, blah, 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 blah. Try again. My teeth back in. I've seen it all being like posted on like Twitter, and it does look awesome.
It's brilliant because the thing is, wonderful thing about that is that it's held at the Quad in Derby. Now, the wonderful thing is that where they have all the autographs, it's their gallery. So they just have these every year they do something different. And I don't know what it was, but there was just an awful lot of big inflatable eyeballs.
Oh,
And yeah, and the walls are just as if someone just took a super soaker full of paint and just unleashed rage on the walls. And I was just as the second doctor, I was just thinking, this is too perfect.
I might have to. Can I, if I'm allowed to, can I show some of the pictures when?
Yeah, go. Oh, yeah, go for it.
So yeah, these are the amazing pictures that are currently appearing magically upon your screen. But it's just so random. I got these and I was like, "What?
Like, what's he doing now?"
Where's the new idea for the audio?" He's like, we need to add to that list.
Yeah, we really don't need help with that list. We really don't.
God. Oh, so within TT, you joined a couple of weeks after our first July trip.
I did, yes.
Yeah. Like, Abby, can I be a TT? I'm like, yeah, mate.
Well, I was kind of just there for the London meetup, and I was just like, "Am I this sort of interloper? Am I, how did this happen?" You sort of thing. So yeah, it was a group photo of all the TTers, and I didn't feel like I should have been in that photo if I wasn't a TT. So I kind of made my application on a sofa. Can I be a TT? I'm good at stuff.
I'll do Doctor Who things, mate. Can I be a TT? Of course you can, mate. Application form sent in.
Yeah, it was the fastest application in my life, I'll tell you.
But so let's try and think. So within TT, obviously, the majority at the moment on what's on our channel is most of the covers are your artwork.
Yes, they are. But that's because I'm bloody minded and I just keep on doing things on Photoshop. And I send them to you and you just go, "Ooh, that's pretty."
I like it. Do it again.
Do it again. And that's kind of how it came about. It's the fact that I just sent stuff. And next thing I know, it's kind of, "Matt, can you do this cover? Can you do this little? Can you just change this person's haircut?" I'm just like, "Yeah, sure." Just,
this person, normally Chelsea.
Well, there's been Chelsea, there's been you. I've had to. I mean, like, I've just done the what's it? That video game that we're doing.
Last of Us.
Last of Us. I wanted to say The Lies of Us. No, The Last of Us.
It's all right. Strax called it Among Us, and I was like, that's a completely different audio.
And the photos were brilliant, but everyone was far too clean.
Yeah.
So I just got the burn tool on Photoshop and I just went
there with Chris Walker Thompson going, "Ah!" Oh no, they are fun. This is one thing because I don't like now, especially because I never like being on covers, and it's only because Chelsea's had this like really big enthusiasm, and I think it's all kind of rubbed off on all of us. I mean, look at the photo shoots we did for Last of Us. All of us have gone. Oh no, we can actually make this fun. So we've actually been making more effort into the cover art now.
The first thing I had to ask Chelsea about her photos is, "Where did you get that gun?"
And you know, it was loaded.
It's a BB gun. It's just like, bloody no. I'm
Oh,
gonna have to up my game if I'm ever in these audios at some point. I don't know where, I'm gonna have to get myself a fucking bazooka or something. Just
this
make
is
it
the thing. I've got a bow and arrow that I still need to have on the front cover at some point because it's a full on, like, it's an
we used
actual
to,
like size bow and arrow, and I've not had it on the cover yet.
we used to have a crossbow. It used to belong to my uncle, but somebody else has had it, and I'm just like, I wanted that one, but never mind.
No, literally, I think because Chelsea's like been like, oh yeah, we can make these fun. I do think all of us are kind of upped our game a little bit with the covers, which is quite nice.
That's the wonderful thing is the fact that, and I've said this time and again, but this is kind of me making it official. Everyone in the whole of the TTers is such a wonderful, wonderful beacon of talent and enthusiasm. So we kind of do sort of egg each other on, So if one person does something that's really, really good, we all of us in a sort of professional envy, sort of professional competition sort of thing, which is nice and healthy. We kind of go, well, if he's done that, I've now got to do.
It happens with the audios all the time.
Yes, it does. Very much so.
Because we'd be all sat there, and like Jim will be like, "Well, I need to up my game," or Straps would be like, "Well,"
and he can come across as very sarcastic, but no, he's a genuine sort of, well, that's me bloody told.
but it's like egging one another on, though, isn't it? I think because we're continually like trying to push each other, not in like a competition level. We're not trying to like
We're not trying to outdo each other.
Yeah,
we're very supportive of each other.
We're just trying to make ourselves better by learning from the other people.
Exactly. It's a wonderful sense of camaraderie. It really is.
Yeah.
Which I think, which a lot of groups have, but other groups could learn something from. I can't obviously. I won't name names.
No,
but
yeah, honestly,
yeah.
There's no competition.
No, it really is sort of because when someone, especially one thing I do notice about this group is that everyone tries to bring their A game, but if there's something that an individual is unsure about in themselves, the first thing most or all of the group will do is, no, you do good, you're doing good. It really is a wonderful support structure, because I know what it's like in some of these groups, is that you have one person who, in every group, there's always some person who wants to be the star. Everyone wants everyone to be jealous of my acting. If you know, you know. But in this group, everyone has that rather healthy degree of that mentality, but not at the expense of anyone else.
Yeah.
Like,
so if they know somebody would be better at doing X, Y, Z, exactly. They would recommend that person rather than always putting themselves forward.
And we're all very complimentary of each other, which is what I like. And it's not ass kissing. It's not brown nosing by any. It's not like, oh, well, if I'm nice to Abby, then maybe I'll just rise up the ranks. I don't have to do that. I just have to do Photoshop.
Yeah, true.
Stop it,
just a bit bigger, Chambers.
Yeah, just a bit bigger. No, Matt, not that big.
No, not big.
Oh God, I don't know.
We've been here for like 10 minutes and I've already mentioned boobs. Like...
it's all, Lords, ladies and gentlemen. From now on, this speech goes downhill a bit.
Yeah. No, but the other thing is as well, like it's not always us being like, that's really good, that's really good. If somebody says an idea and we're like, we'll say it,
but it's never nasty. There's always
it's never nasty. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
However, why don't you try it this way? Or like, we try to help each other out rather than just being like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's either. I mean, that covers everything that we do. It's either a case of, when we come up with ideas for series that we still haven't bloody written yet. I'm not saying that I'm guilty of sin of that one, but
oh no, literally, whenever I literally sit here and opposite me while I'm sat here, is my
It's
list.
the list, yeah. I had to stop
And
writing my
it's
list. I got into
two-sided.
I said, yeah, I had to stop writing my list. It got into about 3 pages at one point. So,
It's
but
crazy.
you know, we'll sit on a Zoom and say, hang on, I've got an idea. Why don't we do X, Y, Z?
Especially if Chelsea's there, because
Especially if
she's the
Chelsea's there.
worst.
Oh yeah. And it'll
The
either be a
girl
case
who's
of
not a writer.
we get so swooped up on it, we're there dedicated all our time, and all of a sudden we just hang on. Weren't we supposed to be doing? Oh Christ! You know, all this business.
Where are we going to fit that in?
I don't think there's ever been a time when we've flat out turned down an idea, but I think we've had to be sort of realistic in the sense of right. We can do that, but it's going to be many, many moons before we actually get there, you know.
Yeah,
so,
it's like
so if everyone's got the patience to actually, but that's a good thing, really, because that way, you know, let's say I came up with an idea to base audios on a certain video game.
I was about to mention something like that as well.
if someone says, "Yeah, we can do that," it might not be for a while. I take that as fine. That's great. I've got time to actually write the bloody thing.
Well, this is the thing. Like another video game adaptation, which I have mentioned about before, because we're doing an Assassin's Creed one as well.
Yes, we are.
But you're looking at like 2024, 2025, like crazy.
I know. This is the thing, because I mean, what I like is the fact that we do have such a powerhouse of, you know, we've got so many ideas on the go. And it's not just Doctor Who.
No.
Now, I would love, because oddly enough, me and Ben and James we were talking on a Zoom a couple of nights back, and we brought up the Eighth Doctor audios. So I put me 2 pence worth, and I said, look, I would love to do Eighth Doctor. I've been wanting to do Eighth Doctor since Storm Warning.
Yeah.
He says, for God's sake, let me out of the box. But so I'd like to do more Doctor Who. So I'm literally today. I know I said I'd finish this beforehand, but life happened. I'm finishing James's Thy Flesh Consumed. I'm finishing that today.
So that's Queer Doctor.
That's Queer Doctor, and he has been a joy to write for. Because I found out. I don't know whether anybody else has this thing. When you have a fan Doctor, there's 2 ways you can write it. You can either write it generic Doctor, whereby they can bring absolutely anything they want to it and say the dialogue, and it will fit. But what I try and tailor it so it sounds like James's Doctor. And something happened. I was on the bus coming home from work, and I listened to audio visuals, the NitBricks Doctor stuff, which are fantastic. If you can ever get hold of them, check them out, because they are absolutely superb. And then you go to NitBricks and say how wonderful he was as the Doctor, and it freaks him out.
They're still around.
he genuinely freaks him out. I took great pleasure in telling him how wonderful he was, and he was just like, But anyway, I was listening to a story in season 4 called Requiem, and he had a male companion called Truman Crouch, and there was just something about the way that they were interacting. I must have phased out or something, because it was a long day. And my brain instantly went to this, you know, instead of being the Doctor and Truman, it was the Doctor and TJ. And on the bus, I'm just like, that's how you bloody write them, you know. So I kind of taken, I'm not copying audio visuals, but I'm taking an awful lot of cues, which is a completely different, you know, the beats and the way that they talk, the inflections. And it just made the process 100 times easier. It really did. I was just like, I can relax now. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which a lot of writers start out thinking, I have not got a clue where this is going. And when it clicks, you just go, the keyboard. I do have moments though where I'm like, where the fuck is this going? And then I would have finished it, and I'd be, or I'll get to. So, for example, with Before Vastra 3, I'm going to use as an example. I didn't plan for Mr. B to have his way with Jenny. It just happened. It just. Exactly.
When I was writing, you know, when you have those moments where you kind of feel like you're watching it happen, and you're just kind of typing it out as you're watching it on the telly. And I read the scene, and I was like, oh, Okay.
Yeah, that kind of happened with Master.
Oh yes.
I
Well,
was-
let's talk about Master now, shall we?
I was
That was a nice side
I was
part.
going to say, should we address the elephant in the room, shall we? Yeah. That's not what it's talking
People
about.
want more Chambers. Come on.
Yes, yeah, I know. I'm like Lit Briggs. I'm writing it with my big toe, one key at a time.
So like Charlotte Pollard 3 then.
Charlotte Pollard 3, yeah,
He's
exactly.
writing that with his tongue.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to tell everybody here and now. Master started out as a very innocent little project. It really, really did. I swear, I'm on my life. And I thought
You need to listen to Master, honestly.
Yes,
like,
listen to My Dear Pip chapter
it.
1, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say this. It started out with I was playing really with script ideas, and I thought, what would Emperor Palpatine dialogue sound if it was spoken by the Master, trying to turn someone to the dark side? And I thought, yes, this works. This is brilliant. I got an idea, and then went back to the TikTok role plays of My Dear Pip, which I've kind of compartmentalized into sort of a much shorter but much more compact story, because as glorious as My Dear Pip was on TikTok,
so complicated.
It just grew and everyone put the 2 pence worth in, and there wasn't that much control over it.
No.
So this is a lot more controlled. And I wrote the dialogue, and there's me going, don't turn to the dark side, you'll kneel before me. So I'm hearing Star Wars in my head, I'm hearing UPG at the absolute most in my head, I'm thinking this is going to be awesome, because I didn't want to copy Derek Jacobi's Master. I didn't want to copy Big Finish Master. Big Finish Master have got their own way of doing things. My idea is the Master has a plan, and he does it. He's not saying, I shall destroy the universe, and he never gets around to it. No.
Yeah,
he's gonna do something really, really bad. And it goes well for him. There's no Doctor to interfere at this point. However,
we do live recordings at TT.
The script goes to Dear Abby. I get individuals to record their bits and pieces. Saw that bit on 2164 Earth, the devastation, the Dalek invasion. Loved all that. It was all, and the slimiest character was supposed to be the Spiv, the one that Dom played. And he was supposed to be the slimy character that had rather perverse sexual tendencies towards persons. And he got his comeuppance. Said, right, he got a kick in the knackers, and he was exterminated. Spoilers. And to my mind, that was as dark as it was going to get. After that, it was going to be. I was almost painting the Master as this sort of. He starts off as this. He could be a nice guy. He's just got rather dark. He's beacon of hope. He's just got some rather dark tendencies. He's got this dark look to him. I mean, when someone offers you a hand and says, "Look, I can take you away from the Dalek invasion. I can, and I know," and then he starts weaving this whole sort of thread of how it all happened. He's lying through his teeth, as the Master does.
Yeah.
Then we get to the recording.
Let's say, bearing in mind, we did this live.
So we're on. So we're on Zencastr. I can't help chuckling. And all of a sudden, as actors do, we bring our own thing to the table. And I don't know whether I'm to blame for this, or Abby's to blame for this, or if we're both as guilty as sin.
I think it's just our characters. It was just
I think it's just us as people. It started off dark, and then it got a bit darker, and then a bit darker, and then it took this whole different dimension whereby, are they flirting, or is this, or are we going down S&M territory here? And that's
as soon as she's on the Neil line, I was just like, there we go. And it's just when she's like, you are my master, and it's just like, oh, okay.
And at that point, I just went, what have I done? I like it, but what have I done?
And just that, My Dear Pip is now a horny mess.
We brought a much more. I mean, the thing is, what I liked about it is the fact that we brought. Yes, it did take on a rather adult subtext. You know, it's not a fluffy, floaty la la Doctor Who.
But I think it's quite nice to see that side of the Master, to be
Yeah,
fair.
it is. It is very much so. But I mean, it was totally unintentional. But I think it says a lot about us as actors
Yeah.
that came out in the performance.
But it's not very often I get to flirt with a male because I always seem to play lesbians. So
well, I see. Strapping kids, Master Two. I mean, we've had some really silly ideas, but I say silly ideas. I think they are going to actually work their way into a script. Like,
obviously,
the idea that we had there's blood curdling shrieks, and the sounds of horror and pain and darkness, and then it cuts to the master and people just going,
that was good.
I enjoyed that. I mean, we've gone as far as we can. It's just like we just go with it now.
Yeah, that's how it happens now. But I do think this is. I know we always big up the whole live recordings, but now that we kind of know that's where it sits, that's how it's going to be written.
Yeah,
it's like it's a completely different ethos, but like the Jenny and Molly relationship, the me and Chelsea relationship,
yes.
Like the only reason why you can feel that relationship is because we have literally established it whilst working together.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, there is a lot of art imitating life with what we write. In so many different ways, like the people get me to do very gruff and dark voices.
No, whenever anybody out of all the stuff you've done within TT is always bloody Beyond British Shores.
Mm-hmm.
How many men have you been shagging?
There was me trying to do my best Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, I'm trying to be Khan from Star Trek, and it comes out as Christ knows what it came out as, but like I say, I like doing stuff. I like playing alien because I played a cheetah person in one of the Queer Doctor audios, and and the stories are abound where I'm recording. I'm doing the sort of the they got.
I was a cheetah person in that,
and apparently I didn't know that this happened, and James and Brandon told me afterwards that they kind of had to mute their mics because just going, it's getting warm here. Matt's growling,
purring and growling,
purring and growling. I'm just like, I really should start up my own OnlyFans.
It's true.
Do with the money, I tell you.
But obviously in Dalek as well, you voice not Dalek. Try again. In Master as well, you voice the Daleks as well.
I do, yes, I do Daleks. I do Cybermen. I do Crotons. I can do Silurians. I'm building up a back catalogue of classic voices.
Work on your quarks.
Shall I destroy?
That's a really strange bloody voice. That is.
I think I'd get Gretchen to do that if I needed a quark.
Either Gretchen or we'll get Chelsea to do an Artful Dodger, and I'll just modulate it.
To do a sticker.
Sticker by name, sticker by nature. Shall I destroy?
And all of a sudden, launch nuclear rays at people. Yeah, I like that.
Oh God, I think she'd love that actually.
And
she'd be like, I don't know what it is. Yeah, sure.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I'm working on Sea Devils as well, which has become a lot easier now. I kind of understand how the voice will work. So basically,
because we've got a lot of Sea Devils coming up.
This is very true, yeah. So basically, what I can tell people in the group. I said, look, write anything you like. If you need an alien monster, if I can't do it, I will work on it. We will do it. Don't be afraid to bring really obscure stuff out of the woodwork. And then then comes Josh Griggs, who's bringing as much, as much really sort of once ever only used in the 60s aliens. And I'm just like, curse you, boy, curse you.
He's doing it with Dickensian as well. His Dickensian episode.
Dickensian's gonna be so good because I convinced Ben. Well, I don't have to convince anybody. People think I'm on drugs because the idea that I came up for Dickensian.
It's gonna be
Which-
funny. Like,
it's going to be.
but it's
gonna be
also
great,
really
isn't it?
gruesome.
It is. Well, this is the because it's kind of a Mighty Boosh
Yeah.
kind of idea, whereby I mean, just as a way of teasing, is that the Nestine have the power over plastic. The Cybermen somehow can use wood in cybernetics. I really don't know how that works, but they can. And there was me. I must have been pissed. I must have been.
It was it was one of those like 1 a.m. Zooms.
Yeah,
like,
it was a
definitely one of
really
those.
bizarre process of thought. I was not firing on all cylinders, and I thought, what if there was a race that could animate and weaponize tinfoil? So it starts off very comedically. People are being attacked by, their 6 a.m. bacon sandwiches. And then they find a body and it's wrapped up in tinfoil and it's been baked. And and the process just goes on and gets bigger and gets larger. And the Doctor's facing a very real threat, but does have an epi moment where she's like, I've been traveling the universe for over 1,000 years. I demand a better class of villain.
Literally. Are you kidding me? It's tinfoil.
Mm-hmm.
Are you actually kidding me?
I feel vaguely insulted.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So that's another one I've got to write as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't make life easy for myself at all.
No, but once again, Dickensian's one of these ones that's not going to be coming out till like the middle of next year. So
that's true. Yeah. Plus, well, that way we can work on the Dickensian Doctor, because the brief I've been given for her is not one that I actually expected. It's a case of just imagine Miranda with a TARDIS.
Miranda Hart meets Beaker from the Muppets.
And I'm just like, you sort of look at that, and you get YouTube clips going, thinking, what drugs do I have to be on? I'll work it out, and I know a bloke, so
It was purely because it was me and the other doctors of TT sat down, and I was like, right, I want to make Dickensian a thing, because she'd had like one thing on TikTok, and I was like, I said on Twitter, should I do it? And I had about 70 people being like, yes. And I was like, oh, I better bloody do this then. And then I was like, right, because I have a habit of pushing all my actors other than myself. And I was like, I want to be pushed to be the Doctor. And I'm not your normally one for like the kind of comedy side. Not saying that she's going to be like comedy to that extent.
It's not going to be a one-liner on me, but it's going to be tongue-in-cheek, fun. But look, it's going to be a lovely series, because there is going to be that element of comedy.
I feel like it's going to be like early Russell T Davies kind of. There'll be like farted and stuff like that.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, when you mention Miranda Hart meets Beaker from the Muppets, as a sort of a segue, a way of actually writing this, the kind of humor that I think would work really well with her Doctor. Have you ever heard of a rapper called Professor Elemental?
Yes.
That kind of really weird British zany kind of if I can pitch it sort of that way, then I think
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Because luckily Professor Elemental had he only had one video out, and then he went back to music, which is a shame really, because of that. His first video adventure was just a work of art. It really was. But it's kind of, I think I know how to. Oh my god! I've had a revelation. I know. You heard it here first, people. Matt works it out. Listen, what's that? I'm not typing now. Don't know what you're talking about.
But no, Dickensian is going to be an interesting one. Because as well, whereas with like Future, Ian's written all the scripts for Future.
Yeah, Ian's really taken to the Future Doctor, and I'm looking forward to seeing hearing what he comes out with, because I haven't read anything of Ian's scripts yet, and the way that he talks about them, I'm thinking this is going to be proper.
But
He talked about going into a
yeah,
depth
yeah.
that-
Like it's crazy the amount of like information and stuff he manages to put. But
and torturing poor old Matt
and
with
torturing Matt with
really
massive
long
words.
word and technobabble that which I must admit I'm guilty of sin myself. So when I give people technobabble, I expect to be very unpopular. But I welcome this. I welcome this.
With Dickensian, we haven't got one writer.
No, we haven't. No,
It's me. I've got two. Ian's got two. You've got one. Ben's got one. Strax has got one. Josh Griggs has got one. James has got one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a team effort.
It's gonna be very interesting to see how the different writers all tackle the same Doctor.
Mm.
And I think what's really good about that is the fact that each writer is going to pick up on a different facet.
Yeah.
So I've always said I write very Bob Holmes, Terrance Dicks, which is like bang bang wallop, aliens, run, and very very. I like romps. I like the stuff that I like to listen to. So it's also going to probably sound very early Big Finish as well.
I was about to say,
as a kind of because like Big Finish do wonderful things. I would like to say this here and now.
We love Big Finish. Hello.
Yes.
Did we mention audio dramas?
Big Finish for the love of other people's money. No.
Give me your cash.
All right, that's two. If I get another one.
Coming soon. Matt speaks about Big Finish more.
I can't slag Big Finish off because they really did. They were there during the wilderness years, and they do have done, still do wonderful stuff. I'm just a lot more in love with the early stuff than I am with the latest stuff.
Yeah, same.
Simply because I think that's just where I started. It's kind of like a comfort series. I can listen to the first 15 or actually no, the first 20. Because that way you've got everything from Silent of Time to the Mutant Phase, and then the first series of McGann.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like my comfort series. I will always go back and re-listen to them all in one. I can sit and listen to them in one go. No,
but I feel like it's the same equivalent as like all these like new Who fans whose first Doctor was Christopher Eccleston, and the amount of them that say that their favourite Doctor was David Tennant. That's purely a reminiscent thing.
Yeah, very much so. Because
is that you think? Like,
yeah, well, it's because they hadn't got, because at that point there were certain fans that didn't have much to go on.
No, exactly,
because they didn't have. That's it. Sounds I make it sound as if we're talking about 20. Oh my god, actually, it is nearly 20 years ago. Oh my god, oh god, it is nearly 20 years ago. Oh Christ.
Oh no.
I'll make it sound as if we're talking like we're back in the 60s and the 70s. There was no BritBox. There was no iPlayer. There wasn't BritBox and iPlayer. We never even imagined that Netflix would ever be a thing. We'd just come out of the. I mean, we
tapes and stuff.
We still have VHSs back then. Yeah. UK Gold was still a thing.
That's how I watched all my classic Who.
Yeah, that's
UK Gold, but they never played them in order. Oh, no. That's the one thing that always got me.
They did play them in order, but they played them in so regularly that you had to be a sadat like me to actually say, no, forget everything else. I'm watching the Aztecs tonight. I mean, UK Gold, just as a sort of anecdote for myself, really. UK Gold was, because I used to get the videos quite regularly because my dad liked them as well. And one of the many facets, it's not a problem now, but I used to have to go to the hospital a lot with my heart. Because I've got a heart condition. They had to keep an eye on it until I was like 18 or something, just to make sure I didn't croak. It was more an annoyance more than anything else because it was so mild.
Yeah.
It never really caused me any problems. Anyway, so I'd go to the hospital. And at the time, hospitals then were just the most frightening places for me. This is why I hate them with a passion. Such was the frequency of the visits. As a sort of right, you got through that and you didn't freak out. I used to go to either W.H. Smith or a mystic place that only certain fans of a certain age will know, John Menzies, which was this Aladdin's cave of books.
I love the way you
comics.
said that, John Menzies.
Yeah, well, it was. This is the thing. It was a shop in Warsaw. It was 2 stories. There was books. There was comics. There was videos. It was just magic place. Magic. And so I used to get the videos quite regularly. So I think my first VHS was the Time Warrior, and then we got Pyramids of Mars, and that's when my soul belonged to Doctor Who. And we got the videos quite regularly, and then TV took this whole sort of flip, and there were certain things that weren't regulated anymore, which means you could have a lot more channels. And then we were introduced to something called cable, which was this mystic thing that we thought only the rich and powerful could have, because of Sky, that only your rich auntie or uncle had.
Yeah.
Of which they used it for totally boring reasons, but that's neither in or
QVC.
there. God, shoot me every time they babysat. I just want to put a bullet in my head. I didn't care about skin products that came from Kuala Lumpur. I really didn't. Anyway, then so we got cable, and I got the Sci-Fi Channel and something called UK Gold, which started off running an awful lot of old sitcoms I used to watch. So that was fine. And then there was this glorious day. The cable guide came through the post, and there it was, Sunday morning, Doctor
Who.
And I could not believe my eyes. And I went through it's like a whole month's worth of listings, and every single Sunday it was Doctor Who. It was either on really early in the morning, like 7 o'clock, of which you can guarantee I was up bright as a bastard, which was impossible for me at the time. I mean, it's impossible now, but UK Gold, where are you? And I'd watch with. There's almost this mysticism, because before then I'd only ever had the reference books and everything, so I'd seen photos of all these stories and clips of all these stories that I thought I'd never see because they weren't even on video.
Yeah.
And then there's me watching the Keys of Marinus, bored out of my mind, but I was watching the Keys of Marinus. That one had pacing problems.
Yeah.
Let's not defend too much. And then we had the Aztecs, and I'd watch all that was left of William Hartnell, and then all the ones that I'd never seen of Pat Troughton, and all the ones I can remember. I watched I watched the Silurians for the first time on UK Gold. I cried. It was just something. It was just I never thought I would see this, because that was a big video box set. That was really expensive back in the day, so we couldn't really afford it. And all of a sudden, I'm watching it. I'm there, and just like it's like all the answers have been given to me. And what was even better, and it helped a lot, is that UK Gold was kind of there when I went up into drinking ages. So I'd go out clubbing on a Saturday night, and went until 2, 3 in the morning, which was normal. And everyone's just like, "Oh, we're going back to some for more drinks." You come, we said, "No, screw that. I've got a kebab. I'm going home. I'm going to watch Doctor Who." And that's how I used to sober up. I used to just sort of creep in very quietly. I'd sit there with this jug of water, this straw that was about half a mile long, munching on this kebab, and I'd be watching The Mutants at 3 in the morning, sobering up, which I tell you what is a very unique experience.
Yeah.
Or I remember one time I sat and watched the War Games in one go in one night.
Oh my God.
But I tell you what, I was sober as a priest by the time it had finished. But they were good days, and you don't get that these days. I mean, you can go on BritBox, watch any Doctor you like, which I can imagine somebody would have exactly the same feeling. They're going to get to about 20 years hence and go, "I remember when BritBox came out and we had all the classic Doctor Who," and that must have been for someone who was sort of my age back then, right now, for them to say we had BritBox and we had every Doctor Who imaginable. I couldn't believe my eyes. I can imagine that being the same feeling, and I genuinely hope they enjoy it, because it's a magic feeling when you get to watch something that you are really in love with.
Was that when they started finding all these like missing episodes? I love the fact that Noah basically has most of Who. Like, there's not very. I know there's like how many missing now? Like,
it's down into double figures.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near as much as it was, so he's got the majority.
I think there's like 110 missing in 93.
Yeah.
And that's definitely gone down. I think we're into the 80s figure.
Yeah, I think we're about the 80s, yeah.
And I tell you something, went to Hooverville. and it's amazing who you talk to. It's amazing the rumors that still go on about missing stories and the theories. And there was a story, I can't name names much, but someone told me a story that Derek Ware, who was one of the stuntmen, he made mention that he got to do an audio commentary for a story for William Hartnell. And just like, what was this a recreation? And no, I was watching the fight scenes and everything. Someone in Australia's got it.
No.
I can't, it's a case of without giving too much away, it was a story that was before the 10th Planet.
Oh,
and we all kind of went, "You are kidding me!" So that you want to go into the, and it's a lovely thing to do an X-Files episode of the missing years of Doctor Who, and do these things still exist? As they do, they're just some greedy feckers got them out there.
Yeah,
they just won't hand them over, sort of thing. Yeah, so but that's a whole different thing. I've never understood that mentality at all. They have these things, or someone who stole the Brigadier's first episode in Web of Fear, just so they could say they are the only ones who had it. I'm just thinking, what kind of a basement dwelling, granny shagging little fucker have you got to be to say, "Oh, I own the Brigadier's first episode and nobody else has got it"? Yeah, bravo you selfish prick. So how much can I swear on this?
No, it's fine. If you've seen our channel.
In that case, congratulations for you basement dwelling cunt. Cool, that felt good.
There you go. But this is one thing. To say that was all about Who. This is one thing that I've noticed a lot. And I only really noticed it when I was scrolling through Razalon's channel, Razalon Productions. We have so little Who on our channel.
We do.
Compared to a lot of the other Doctor Who channels. Because
we started off actually wanting to do Doctor Who.
Well, this is the thing. I like Paternoster Gang.
There's Doctor Who. I think we do more Doctor Who spin-offs. Which, again, that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother conversation. But the boiling down of my rant on that point is the fact that we're making spin-offs and we're not charging a penny.
That's true.
I'm not saying that this is the crimes of the 90s, BBV.
Well, BBV.
Well, I'll pick on BBV because BBV deserve to be picked on.
Yes, they do.
There's Real-Time Productions as well with Keith Barnfather. Now he does very professional.
Oh, I know Keith.
He's done. Everyone knows Keith.
Everybody knows Keith.
He's another one. He's a convention darling, So everyone, he can have 100 people say hi to him in case we've all seen him, So Keith Barnfather did some wonderful Doctor Who spin-offs, which you can still get, and I recommend Deimos Rising's one. That's Chef's Kiss, just one of the best ones. David J. Howe wrote that one. I met him. I got his latest book this weekend as well. So he's done target books of Deimos Rising, The White Witch of Devil's End, and Mind Game trilogy.
Oh yeah, I like the Mind Game ones. Yeah.
So he did them. So they were our sort of fix in the 90s, but they were so difficult to get hold of. And when you did get them, they were either absurdly cheap or they were just horrifically expensive, depending on who was selling them.
Yeah.
See? Whereas Keith Barnfather's still making new ones, whereas BBV, they're just re-releasing things, but they are expecting big Finnish prices. So, I was just like, But that's the boiling down of my rants. Whereas we can come up with spin-off ideas, and we have done, and we are doing so.
We still are, yeah.
We still are. We're still coming up with new ideas. Don't know when we're going to write them.
Just somewhere.
But it's going to be a case of, right, there they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's anyone who's ever been interested in the lore of Doctor Who, the things that never get really touched on, like I'd love to do stuff to do with, the Company from Robots of Death. When I write, if I ever, when I do write a Doctor Who that's set in the future, I will blend Blake Seven, the Galactic Federation, and Doctor Who, the Galactic
Yeah.
Federation,
Yeah.
because they're both in the same universe, and I will fight anyone who says they're not.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so the Galactic Federation, the company, and the Grand Order of Oberon, which was from Revelation of the Daleks,
True. Yeah.
which was the Knight Orsini belonged to, and I've just bought Cutaway Comics spin-off comic of that. Yeah. I'm dying to read that. That's that one I'm most excited about. Also, if you're interested in spin-offs, go look at Cutaway Comics, because I've just bought Omega Orsini, Eldrad Must Live. I mean, I've got an audio where Omega's played by Brian Blessed.
Oh Lord.
Let that sink in. Okay, take as long as you like. Let that sink in.
But this. I've got to stop saying this is the thing, because I say that so much.
It's better than at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
that's a sight that makes me want to rip people's skin off.
Because like spin-off wise, because obviously I'm in charge of Pat Gang, and then yours is Master. They're both kind of spin-offs. But then we've from like my side, because I've had spin-off of spin-offs, because obviously Paternoster before Vastra, and then Tosks is a spin-off of before Vastra, and then Molly is a spin-off of before Vastra.
The thing is, stop me if I'm wrong, wasn't Match Girls a spin-off of a spin-off that's becoming something very real?
So Match Girls came about because obviously so I started doing all my research for Jenny, and there's literally one line on her Wikipedia that just says Jenny was a match girl, and that was it. So obviously I went down my historical research path and filled my head with far too many facts, and so obviously before Vastra they are match girls, but I couldn't have it be like the main focus,
right? Because
obviously the main focus was Vastra and Jenny. So yeah, there is a series being done about the match girls, but it's not. It's, well, I suppose it can in a way be connected to BV, because it'd be set after all the match girls.
It's the same. It's the same universe. It's the same setting,
basically, because they all basically leave the factory in '86. And the Match Girl series that we're working on is set in '88, so technically it could still be. But no, that's actually that's being done to help raise money for the statue in London.
I mean, that was the point that I was going to raise, is the fact that you sort of started doing what is essentially setting the worlds of, and then it's become something very real, and now you're going into historical drama. Like you got the Match Girls, you've got R101, which purely as a viewer, or a listener, should I say, viewer, I'm really excited for, because it's very rare in the inverted commas the amateur world to have that kind of depth of drama, and I nothing but admiration, because it's something I could never do. There's a lot of things that I can do. There's a lot of things I want to do. But what I absolutely love and adore, and I've got nothing but admiration, is the fact that you are and can do it. And I'm just like, never going to top that.
I love writing all the historical stuff. And obviously...
But that's very much your forte. So you...
Hands down.
I mean, I remember we had this conversation where we were all discussing the different writing styles. And so if it's historical, sad and depressing, Abby's written it. if it's wacky, jovial, and it sounds as if it should have Dudley Simpson's music over it, I've written it. unless of course we act it out and it becomes deep and dark and perverse, and then
but that's just you and me together.
But that's just me and you, yeah.
But no, but you got the thing is, obviously, Harmony 1, I didn't know anything about until Charlie and 8. So that's all span off of...
It's nice that you sort of took that idea and ran with it, but it did make me think, what would I like? What would I, if I was going to do it? What would I like to do? Historical drama. I'd love to do Carter and the Tomb of Tutankhamun, the whole sort of Egyptology kind of stories, because they would make. I mean, you get them historically accurate, but they would make wonderful, unnerving kind of X-Files stories. Would was this really a curse? And and explore that side of things, because people say, well, it might have been this, it might have been this, or it might have been a curse.
Yeah.
And there's stuff like that. I'm just like, when I was a kid, again with cable, I had far too much access to Sunday tea time Discovery Channel, which was usually Egyptians, UFOs, ghosts, and dinosaurs. Those are the 4 things I know I can write about.
No, so I my thing is like Peterloo Massacre. It's a Fifth Doctor audio, and I'd never heard of that thing.
No,
I'd never heard of it. And then I heard the audio, and I'm one of these people that immediately just goes, I must do more research now. And then I just kind of fall down this hole. It's like Tusks of London.
Yeah.
Obviously, they originated in Before Vastra 6.
Mm-hmm.
And they're based on an actual gang. They're based on the 40 Elephants gang, who were females that used to dress up all posh and go into the posh shops and have specially designed skirts where they could like steal stuff. So obviously I started researching them, and then I just fell down this other historical hole. And I'm not one of these people. I just go and I know like all the history of department stores purely because of Tusks. And it's just like, why?
Do you know what? That has just sprung something. There's something that we haven't mentioned, which I will be writing, but I've got to do some research because I got a bit of inspiration. I'm also writing one of the pack gangs, aren't I?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing what was the title that we came up with? The Knights of St. Paul's.
Yeah, the Angels of something like the Angels of St.
No,
Paul's.
that's right. The Angels of St. Paul's, and it's basically the Weeping Angels turn up, because I've always wanted to write a Weeping Angels story.
Weeping Angels and Paternoster Gang. Come on.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And the thing is, the premise of the story, which I won't tell here, I was having problems in my head thinking, well, how am I going to do this? And then I thought to myself, when was Bedlam still a thing during the Pack Gang time? Because if it is, then I've got me something really dark and twisted to research on. But so
did you find out?
Not yet. No.
Do you know?
No, not because oddly enough, it's something that came to me over the weekend.
So, hello.
Tell me, Oracle.
Tell me.
Give unto my mortal self wisdom.
So, in the late 1880s, she's talking like mid 1880s, about 86. They moved Bedlam, so it wasn't in central London anymore. It moved. And it wasn't so much the whole like crazy people in chains and stuff. They actually started like to study the people and look after the people. So it was still there. It was still a thing, but it wasn't so much the crazy house type.
I know that works if you got them actually studying the patients.
Yeah, that's what they started to do.
Because so in the Angels of St. Paul's, they're about to get some bloody weird cases coming through their door. And it all makes you wonder what's going on inside Matty's diseased mind.
But there's only one. This is the thing. Once again, because obviously I've started writing my first Dickensian episode, and it's set in Bedlam. But it's in the 1860s.
Right. Okay.
There was a man put in Bedlam whose surname was Matthews, and basically the government put him in there to shut him up. So he wasn't actually crazy. So they basically just made them think he was crazy. But he kept drawing this heirloom and saying that the government was controlling him through this heirloom. And that you can find pictures online of this thing that he's like designed. So obviously me being me was like, so that heirloom, that might be alien technology. So basically that is Dickensian's first episode.
But that's classic Doctor Who writing, though. Because it's kind of taking that one factoid and just going, let's take it down this road. Yeah. But I like that. So it's kind of going to work the same with Angels of St. Paul's, I mean, like I said, they're just going to get some. People just don't know what's coming with that one because
It's gonna be fun.
it's going to be fun.
But once again,
I'll
that's
tell you,
not.
it's going to be
That's
gruesome.
ages away.
Yeah. It's ages away because again, I'm writing Master 2 with one big toe, and I've also got that one writing that one. Well, that big toe, yeah.
No, I'm trying to. So yeah. So your next thing, writing wise, is probably Queer Doctor, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm finishing off Queer Doctor today.
Yeah, and then the one
And
after
then
that will
it's-
be My Dear Pip.
It's going to be my dear Pip. Well, actually, episode 2 is ready, and I've sent messages to particular guest stars.
Yay!
Yeah. I'm just waiting for replies.
Yeah.
Because of professional commitment and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's when that one starts moving, that's gonna move really, really bloody quickly, actually.
And obviously, editing wise, you've got Luna.
There's Luna, and also a little project that I'm doing with Katie Haynes.
Oh yeah.
And Aaliyah Torrey. So I'm going to be a 13th Doctor audio, which has been recorded because I know she's kind of Aaliyah's
just taking a step back from
out to the
Doctor Who stuff,
out to Doctor Who stuff, which is
apart from Vastra,
yay. So really, it's gonna. So I messaged her the other day. I said, "Look, just to let you know, just life happened, but that's still going." And
yeah,
I've got to prod some people because they owe me lines for that one. So that's
this is why I like to record live.
Yeah, well,
I know.
It's just what it's like. Sometimes you can get everyone into one place. It's lovely. The rest of the time, it's like herding cats.
Oh yes. And I'm just trying to think. And then voice wise, the next time
there's gonna be the Master.
Tusks 2.
Dear old Small Piece turns up.
Yeah.
Me shop.
Good old Small Piece.
Get that on a t-shirt. You know what's really nice, and what's quite funny at the same time is that Small Piece back in the TikTok days. I make it sound as if it was like 10 or 15 years ago, but it's amazing how time and people's perception of time, is altered these days. It's lockdown really did fuck us up completely. When we were doing these things on TikTok, you asked me to do Small Piece and other people. Now the thing is, I had never heard I'd never listened to the Paternoster Gang audios, so I thought it was a character that you had created, and so I got the brief from you, and I did my own interpretation. There's one video where I did my own interpretation, and it was amazing how close it was to.
It was insane.
Really was what really was Small Piece. So I listened to the audios. Who's the gentleman who plays Small Piece in the audios? For the life of me. I'm gonna Google this because the guy needs a mention because
he really does.
He did a wonderful job, and to actually base my character, Small Piece on him. I am actually googling this, so you might have to just sort of.
It's all right.
But Small Piece,
because Small Piece wise, I think you've only been in a pack bite, which was Battle of Bow Street.
I've only been really tiny
and then,
parts.
Yeah, and you were in Battle of Bow Street, and I think you were in before Vestra 6 or 7, I can't remember, when all the Sontarans turned up, and you were like, I didn't know we were going to get attacked by potato people.
Oh, come on. Big Finish.
I've got the audios on my phone. I can just like.
I was going to say. Paternoster Gang.
Just amuse yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. We've got a problem.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So
he
was definitely in.
He's in
lot.
Merry Christmas. Not Merry Christmas, Mr. Jago. Fourth one.
Oh, we got Trevor Cooper.
That's the one.
Trevor Cooper. So he did this lovely graft sort of land, and so you can imagine Del Boy's great grandfather,
Mm.
yeah, sort of thing. And so he did such a wonderful job. And if he ever does a Big Finish day,
Oh my god!
every single
yes.
stop is being pulled out. He says, "No, we do Small Piece in these audios because
Oh
I
gosh,
am Small
Jenny,
Piece."
we'll do it.
Yeah, I was just saying, if he
We'll go
does a
together.
Big Finish day, we will all go as the whole Pat gang with Small Piece. And,
Oh my
he
god!
just holds up a sign saying, "Me shop." But Trevor Cooper did such a wonderful job. It was so, he made it so instantly, I'm not going to say copyable, but it was easy to imitate and expand on. Well, I say
Yeah.
expand on because it was only done but it's such a fun character. Because he does have this a grotty little shop. You walk in, you just imagine it looks like a new age shop, and you to the mortalized, they look like crystals and baubles and everything. He says, no, these are actually engine parts from Star Destroyers and stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
It just makes you think of like the blue floaty thing from Star Wars, Phantom Menace.
Oh, what's his? Only one that dogs like these, eh?
Why are you waving your hand around
Watu.
like that?
Watu. Yeah, you see, only not Spanish.
Yeah.
So actually, Watu with a London accent. Hey, Anakin, my boy. You know with this race roll? Oh, Watu. Oh my God, me shop.
I'll say this though, there's gradually, as like the Paternoster Gang audios get more into the Strax era, there is more and more and more and more and more of Small Piece.
Because Small Piece, what I like the idea of, and I'm just dropping this as an idea because it's that
get me pen.
When you have Jenny, Madame Vastra, and Strax. Jenny is kind of, Jenny, even we'll say Jenny is Vastra's companion, sort of very much the Watson character. If Strax were to think himself a very intelligent Sontaran, he would need a Watson who's the one who's slightly, he's clever in his own way. And I would imagine that he sees sort of Small Piece as a grotty little human with all the intellectual capacity of a squashed apricot. Someone Strax can talk down to, but actually, for a fact that Small Piece is just ripping him off blind. So, and because we've kind of workshopped it on Zooms and everything. Me and Matt Barrett.
It's really hard not to call him Strax, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, because when you've got two Matts. It's either Chambers or Strax.
And Chambers, yeah.
Or Strax and Small Piece, yeah. Because I get Small Piece occasionally, but he gets Strax almost
all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Literally, because he's just been recruited into Last of Us, and I remember
which I am desperately looking forward to photoshopping, because I saw your Reddit this morning, and the outfit he's got on, I'm just thinking this is
he's
going
got
to
a proper
be
cowboy voice
so
as well.
Good.
Never have you heard me and Strax do Southern American like Texan accents. It's just a whole new kettle of fish. But no, I remember Mart, who wrote Last of Us, was like, would Matt Strax like to play this character? He literally called him Matt Strax. Matt Strax. Oh no, Last of Us is fun, and the edit is
it looks wonderful fun. I mean, it's gonna be lovely to listen to. It's lovely doing the covers.
It's gonna be so. Apart from, because obviously one will be ready soon.
Yeah.
And then we have like two like clip it ones, which is just me and Strax. And the fact that me and Strax get our own covers is kind of weird.
Why?
And then there's 7 episodes in this.
There is, yeah.
So
so Small Piece's great grandson never turns up. I'd tell you what, I'd love to be. It's just such is the way that my life works. I always seem to see the casting call about 3 weeks after it's been and gone, and just like, so I have to sort of knock on your door and just like, anything I can do.
Yeah. Hello, got a part for me.
I usually get called in, and this isn't a mono or rant or anything. I usually get called in when you've been let down by other people.
You tend to be the understudy.
I tend to be the understudy, which is fine because
it's because
when I
know
boil it down, I've got an awful lot to do. To Cassie, yeah, go on, I've got 10 minutes. I'll record that. Yeah,
it's because I know, like, no matter the role, like, if I need you, you can pull that role off. That's what I mean. That's why most of the time you're understudy, because whether that's the shouty character or like a fashion designer or something, like, I know
it's amazing. I can go from crazy to camp in about two coffees flat.
So see, this is the thing, because obviously you're standby for the R101 lot.
I am, yes.
And I'm in my head now. I'm like, I really wish I'd cast Chambers or something, because I don't think I'm going to need him as a standby. Not saying that I want people to leave. Please don't leave.
Oh, but no, I'd never. I mean, I'd never say no. I want to be this. You can fuck off. Get out of it. It's just good. No, it's nice that we've. I mean, it's nice. It's good that we've got such a pool of actors. And like I say, if I'm not acting, I can be doing something. It's not like I'm sat there going, I'm just sat here. So no, if I'm ever sat there going, I've got nothing to do, then you know we've got problems, because you can just smack me around the head and just say, get some fucking covers done.
To make me a cover now, bitch. But no, this is the thing with TT is we have got, like, I literally call it like my pot of actors, because as an example, yesterday for Luna 2, we had to recast Thames. And I messaged about 4 or 5 different people, and all of them got back to me like, yeah, sure, I can do it. And then I was like, ah, crap, now I've got 5 people for one role. What do I do? In the end, I gave it to Jimmy Wolf. Yeah. But I
was actually sat in a screening of a Doctor Who fan film at the convention when I got that message from you saying, Matt, gonna have to redo the cover. I'm just like, oh god.
Oh no, Luna's had so many last minute cast changes. It's actually crazy.
It's not a problem, because, like I say, I mean, even in the professional world, you expect this. So it's kind of, so I'm kind of like, well, why do I need to change anything? In the case of no, this happens. Yeah. This is a wonderful thing, is that, yes, we're not getting paid for this. There's a lot of these projects that we can't get paid for this because they're strictly amateur audio. These are most definitely fan productions done for the purposes of entertainment only, and no attempt has been made to infringe or supersede any existing copyright that exists Doctor Who, which remains the property of the British Broadcasting Corporation. I wrote that intro. I wouldn't mind. I should have. I should actually record that. So.
I'm so happy we don't put that at the beginning anymore, because it was just like, oh my god, no more, please.
Well, the thing is, it was strange that it went at the front. I was expecting it to go at the back.
Yeah,
now it's
at the bottom.
so if anybody ever sort of knocks on the door and says, "Excuse me, we are the BBC," go to that time index there, and go away and leave us alone.
Literally at the bottom of everything is just like copyright infringement thing. Like, it's a copy paste. So it's just always covering my back with the BBC crap. Like,
I tell you what though, it is nice that I'm actually the ident for the podcast that me and Emily are doing, which I don't think people know about yet, do they?
No, there you go.
Right. In that case, I can drop this in.
The first one is out on, because it's up for premiere now. Episode 1 is out on the 15th of September.
Oh, goody. In that case, 15th of September, myself and Emily have begun a brand new podcast. And this is a shout out to anybody who is interested in the paranormal, in ghosts and spookiness. And indeed, if you are part of the Most Haunted fan club, we are calling it The Gathering of Haunted Oral Stories Together, or The Ghost Podcast. And basically, it is me and Emily. And the first episode is just me and Emily just chatting absolute bollocks. And it does descend into... No, actually, we have very serious discussions about the paranormal, but it does turn into the Most Haunted fan club very, very quickly. And we have such a great laugh. And we've had James in the second episode. Abby's in the third episode, which is nearly finished editing. which I've got. Actually, you know what? I could mix that down tonight. Actually, ooh, there's an idea.
Ooh.
Yeah, so because I had hoped to get it done and dusted before I went to Derby, but work just screwed me over that night. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's coming out September 15th. The artwork's been done and ready. We're about, like I say, so we're 3 episodes ahead at the moment. We're recording another one this Thursday, Friday, I think, and we're just going to keep on going from there until we run out of people to talk to, which we're not actually going to, because I had asked a couple of people over the weekend if they want to be involved, and I've put the feelers out for some contacts as well. So we'll just see how it goes. But I did the ident for it, and you hear my dulcet tones talking about bringing real adventures to audio. Of which Abby, mentally in my head, I just saw Abby just jump up and down, going, "Yee!" So if you wanted to put that ident in front of this, please do. TT Productions bringing real lunatics to audio.
That's on the TT conversation opening now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I will edit that, and I will send that to you right now. That's so. If you've already heard it, this is the point in time of which it started. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Isn't time travel wonderful?
I love our like little opening things though, because I tried to get a member of the cast to do like a different like the one before Cluster, which is out next weekend, I think.
Or the Fourth Doctor, Doctor Who magazine shorts. I kicked myself that I didn't do a Fourth Doctor. TT Productions bringing Tom Baker to audio. Yeah, so I think I might. Do you know what? I think at this point, rather than saying I could do this, I could do that. I'm just going to do a whole batch of
me a load. It's like I asked Chelsea because she, when we first started this, I got like Chelsea, Alia, Jack, Strax just to send a load in, and I've got them all in a folder. And
TT Productions bringing small pieces shut to audio.
I blew it out. No, but and at the start of Cluster, I used one, and whenever we stop recording, Chelsea, I need to call her Molly. Then Chelsea will go, "Was that all right, Jen?" Like at the end of every to make sure she's done it all right.
I heard about that, and you know what? I genuinely thought that was a very clever nod to an advert that Tom Baker did for Doctor Who, the Doctor Who Encyclopedia. I think it was the Doctor Who Encyclopedia or something. And it's on. You can find it on YouTube. We'll find the clip out for you. And it's Tom Baker going, Doctor Who Adventures, only $1.99. Was that too naturalistic?
But no, she recorded it, and I was like, I have to put that at the front of the Cluster. So she's like, TT Productions, bringing adventures to audio. Was that all right, Jen? You're using that.
I love Chelsea. She's just this bundle of crazy, chaotic, good energy. It's ridiculous.
And like, this is the thing. She's the second newest member to TT.
She is
like the main cast team,
and yet it feels like she's been around forever.
She just naturally we were big in all the team up before, but
which you'll
see with Luna. It's not even a spoiler. She went from we had to recast because of issues. And originally she was literally playing a glorified Alexa. She was just playing a PA. And I was like, Jed, do you mind if the lead has a sex change? So now Chelsea is leading Luna, which was completely there and then. Like, it was insane. But like a lot of the T-tiers, you could have rang up any of them and they would have just done it, and they would have pulled their socks up and smashed it, you know?
I'm looking forward to editing Luna. I must admit, I really am looking forward to that, because we had that conversation with Jed.
I'll say this because we recorded 2 yesterday, and the ending scene for 2, oh my god, both me and Chelsea said that we were going to faint from like the running and stuff. She was like, I'm really lightheaded. I went, me too.
Put your head between your legs, it'll be fine.
It's like she's like, Abby, like, why is it like all the recorders we've been doing recently we've been running? I was like, I know.
Which, oddly enough, you think, irony of irony, you're thinking, audio's not much running. Well, we've proved that bloody wrong.
Honestly, if you're running in audio and you don't get lightheaded, you're not running in audio, right?
No, that's true. Yeah, I must admit, I cheat. I have very fast footsteps, and I just go, and people wonder what the hell I'm. When I'm recording it, I'm sat in here, and this is the family home. So all you can hear from behind the shut door is me just going, and they just knock at the door and say, "What are you doing?" Audio. It's happened more than once.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so anything else you want to bring up?
No, my to-do list is actually quite full at the moment, but no doubt I will fill it with other things, which I always do. But
Yeah.
that's the wonderful thing there, because because it's such a creative sort of, whenever we go on a Zoom.
Oh no,
and we're
Zooms are
chatting- and
dangerous.
We're chatting rubbish. You might have noticed, and we come away and we're just thinking, that's a bloody good idea. I'm doing that. So I've got to finish Queer Doctor, edit down episode 3 of Ghosts
Podcast.
and I've actually started. I wouldn't say plotting, but I have put hand to keyboard with my video game adaptation audio.
You have started.
I have started, and I have asked the leading personage, and they had this personage from Del Monte. They say yes, so that's going to be. I can't say because I don't want to jinx it.
No, don't.
I don't
Too
want to jinx
early.
it. Plus, it is too early. Plus the fact, I'm hoping that when it is revealed, it's going to be a wonderful surprise for people, because video game adaptations in audio, to a certain degree, I don't think. I'm not going to say it's never been done before, but if it has, it is very, very rare. And then we come along and we've got 3.
Yeah, we've got
because you got The Last of Us, you've got Assassin's Creed, and then you've got
that
mine.
one.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, we were going to do another one as well. There was another one that I'm not going to mention because it's really, really far in the distance. Begins with red.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's one that. Now that's one I don't know anything about.
There we go. See,
it's because I never played the game. I know the
Ah.
game that you're talking about, but other personages who were also in that conversation, the amount of excitement that was generated from that, I was just like, you know what, I have to go and play this game.
Yeah, you're gonna go get it now.
Just to go and get. I've got to do the research. I'll come back to 2 or 3 Zooms time and just say, right, where do you need me?
Who can I play? I want to be in this. No, I think
we had a lot of ideas for video games because
we did.
There was
because I
talk
think,
of
because we're trying, like, obviously we are still doing Doctor Who, but because we are trying to build up the other stuff,
we're trying different things. We're trying very new.
We've got historical. We've got like supernatural
games.
stuff. We've got video games. We've got like paranormal things.
Mhm.
We've got stuff about nuclear wars. We've
Mhm.
got like and we got more Penny Dreadfuls being done as well. We're doing a Sweeney Todd.
Now the Penny Dreadfuls, I am very much looking forward to listening to. So and
Scarlet Lust didn't get as much love as I thought it would, but I'm hoping the next one will.
It just needs shipping. I tell you, it just needs shipping around the right circles.
Yeah.
Because with that audio, I think it might be worth dropping a line to places like Fangoria and stuff like that. Just so look, we've done this thing. Is this any interest to you guys? And just it's just they can only say no, but I mean, there's whole sorts of projects. I mean, go back to video games. We were toying with the idea of a series set set in the world of Fallout.
Yeah.
And then, irony upon irony, there's now going to be a TV series about Fallout.
Yeah. But it's like The Last of Us. It's like, we want to do Fallout. What about Last of Us? Yeah, sure. HBO. We're going to do Last of Us. Oh, okay. Stop stealing our stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. Stop having ideas after we have, your cheeky burst.
Well, it's like Dodger. There's a Dodger series on CBBC.
Yeah.
And about 3 years ago, when this channel started,
Mhm.
we were talking about like things we'd like to write, and it was me and Ben, and the video doesn't exist anymore because all those
No.
conversations have gone. But I said I'd love to do a Dodger origin story.
Mm.
And then lo and behold, the BBC, we're
The
doing a Dodger
BBC
origin story.
conveniently turned up with this brand news. It's like, fuck you
The
on.
fuck? I just won't say anything anymore. Like,
No, we've got to talk in code, so at least that way the BBC, if they do find us, you were stealing from us.
I was like, I'm waiting for War on the Moon to come out from Big Finish. I really am.
we got to get there first. We've got to get there first. And we'll get there first with something. We really will. So, I mean, it's going to be quite nice with the project that I want to. That this one I can't mention the name of, because if we can tap into that fandom, we're in laughing.
I think I generally think Last of Us will, because that's got a really big following.
Again, Assassin's Creed. Because it's going to be nice to sort of say to that fandom, "Hi guys, we are also fellow fans. We have stuff.
We have. Have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard an audio?
Not only do we have stuff, we have free stuff, and we're giving it to you.
I feel like
free stuff, you know. So.
I feel like it's our duty to be like, so video gamers, have you ever heard an audio drama? You know that game you really liked? Here's an audio drama about it.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And it's like, because I get the feeling that certain fandoms do feel a bit left out. You know, because they say, well, why don't people ever do fan audio stuff for us as well? It's all right, we're coming for you. We're coming for you, babies. Anyway, I think I've dribbled on enough for these poor souls, and I dare say I've bored you to tears, so, you know.
So thank you for joining me, Chambers.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute delight having a laugh. And I will now go back to my cave and start working for Master. Just get the whip out. Right, you've had your afternoon off. Work.
So my next guest is Joshua Griggs.
You're in for a good laugh.
I know.
He's another one. Like I say, I spent the weekend with him at Hooverville. Just literally get his little clockwork key. Just wind him up and just let him go. Because he's vastly wonderful for his age. Vastly intelligent guy. He's so clever, so articulate.
He's going to get.
Have a dictionary handy, because he uses very big words that not even I heard of. You know.
Oh God! Don't get him and Ian together.
Yes, exactly. So you're gonna have a great laugh with Josh, because he's another one so creative, and it'll frighten you to the point of, well, Matt's got all these ideas, Josh got all these ideas, you've got all these ideas, because
TT Productions always has stuff to come out. It's one thing that Connor said to me of Overton's. It's like, I don't understand how you managed to get this much stuff out. And I was like, it's because there's 23 of us in this team, and we're all split into departments, and we all kind of
there's 23 of us with varying degrees of mental conditions.
Yeah.
So something's bound to come out of it.
Yeah, eventually.
Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, my darling.